Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Gambo here. Yeah, today you'll see on the right we're driving the Panther 2, and the only way that I find it out to make this thing work is to stop playing simulated battle. I mean, it's a lot of long time ago I played realistic. But normally I play only simulated, but right now simulated is very unentertaining. Yeah, there is a lot of fun in playing simulated for me, because some of my last games I did in the Tiger 2 with the handheld turret, they were very unentertaining. There was not a lot of fun. I mean, many times it happens so that some fancy superhero pilot throws some 500 kilo bomb on my hand and it was game over. And when this happens in a Tiger 2, it will also happen in a Panther 2. Yeah, so there is not a lot of fun. And right now in arcade there are no superhero fancy super pilots, so this is a way to deal with it. And also when you do compare the Panther 2 to some of the fancy Russian tanks, and you have to compare it against them, because these are the opponents you will meet. You are top tier in the middle German tank line, yeah. So you have the highest tier and you have the highest battle rating, which means that you will constantly meet tanks like the T-54 and the IS-4. And the only way I find out to make this thing work against such tanks is to play it in arcade. Why? Very simple. Because in arcade the teams are mixed up. Yeah, it's not like in simulated where you play straight only Germans versus Russian or Russian versus Germans. Yeah, and then you would not have any support from tanks like the T-54 or IS-4 on your team. So when you do meet, and this is something that will happen, and it's very sad when it happens, when you do meet a T-54 or IS-4 in a one-on-one situation, it's game over. Yeah, most of the time, even with a highly high percent chance, most of the time it's game over for you, no matter what you do. Yeah, especially when you do drive Panther 2 like I do, which is stock. Which means when they do destroy your turret or destroy your gun, it's game over. You cannot repair it because you have no parts to repair it. You have no tools to repair it. It's game over. Yeah. And also you will recognize, yeah, on the Panther 2 you have a bigger gun. You do not use anymore the 75mm. You start to use the 88s. They're the same gun which you already know from the Yak Panther, which you already know from the Ferdinand, from the Panther, from the Tiger 2. It is a good gun. Yeah, because the long 75mm KVK-44 which is mounted on the Panther F, or the KVK-42 L70 on top tier, it won't, or on tier 5, it won't anymore get the job done. It is the gun is it has not enough power. It has not enough penetration power left to get the job done on top tier, especially when you do have to deal with tanks like IS-4, even IS-3. You will get into big trouble when you do meet a tank like IS-3, IS-4 and the T-54, and you are not able to hit them from the rear or the side. Then you're in big trouble. Yeah. It's nearly impossible to penetrate their armor with the 75mm. Yeah. Sometimes you will be able to penetrate the armor at point blank range. But let's be honest, this is not the case where we want to be. You don't want to be at point blank range to IS-4, IS-3, T-54. You don't want to be at point blank range. So yeah, even the 75mm, even equipped with APCR, you don't stand a chance against T-54 or IS-4. You're even at the IS-3. You're nearly helpless against them in the Panther Ausführung F, because it is higher battle rating, higher tier, and it's not good enough to deal with such a threat. Yeah, so or threat. So at this point, I have to say that the best model I was driving, or the best experience by driving some of the Panther models that I could get until now, is by driving the Panther G, which was, let me take a short look, which was tier 4 and battle rating 5.7. This is the best experience I could get from driving a Panther. The worst experience I get from driving a Panther was in the Ausführung F, because it's rank 5 and has a battle rating of 6.7. And yeah, when you do not believe what I say, sooner or later you will get into position or whatever where you will meet in a Panther Ausführung F, a T-54 or a IS-3 or a IS-4, and then, my friend, believe it or not, you will remember my words, and then you will understand what I mean. Because yeah, it was to the limit, or to this, in the Panther G, still in the Panther G, the 75mm mounted on the tank was a fantastic gun. It always get the job done. Yeah, it was really good, and still is really good, but not against IS-3, IS-4, T-54. It's too weak. Yeah, it doesn't have enough power to apply serious damage or something to them. The only thing you at this point you can do against your opponents is start to pray, then repeat the praying, and then try to shoot on their side or on the rear, or sometimes, but this is tricky to do, take out their gun. I mean, at shorter range, or when they do not focus but they're focusing on some of your teammates, then you can perform such an action where you do take out their guns. But this is nothing that's easy to do. Yeah, so yeah, pray, do first thing, pray, second thing, pray, third thing, take out their gun. Or sometimes you can also take out their tracks and then call an artillery strike on them. And also, this is one of the rare moments where I was able to destroy a T-54, and take a look how I did so. So first, I know there is a T-54, and then I pull the trigger, destroyed his gun, and now I know that he's more or less helpless. And to be honest, I think that this guy is AFK or whatever. I don't know what he's doing, but it seems to be so that he's AFK. So this is the only one moment until now where I was able to destroy a T-54 by my own. Never did before. I mean, yeah, I know. I did. You already saw me destroying a T-54 in my 30, where I was able to apply a hit into his side. Yes, I know. But this is this was the first situation where I was very close to a T-54, more or less point blank range, maybe not. But this was the first time where I was able to destroy him by my own, in a situation where it was 1 versus 1. And this is something that won't happen again. Sadly, but true. This is something that won't happen again, believe it or not. So, yeah, the Panther 2, it's not a bad tank, but compared to a T-54, it's a shitty tank. Especially, it's very hard to deal with the T-54 from the front, because even when you take a look on this engagement, I mean, I have no chance versus this guy. It's nearly impossible to win for me. Yeah. So he destroyed me. What a surprise. But I'm not even mad about it. It is what it is, and it doesn't matter if I whine about it, if I'm mad about it, if I cry about it. It won't change anything. Yeah. So even with armed with a long 88, it's very hard against T-54, especially when you engage him from the front, because his front armor is it's not very thick, but it's very well angled. So it's very hard to penetrate it from the front. And the turret, I don't try it out by myself in many engagements, but I would say that at the front it's even unpenetrable from the front. You can't take out his gun. With standard ammunition, I don't think that it's penetrable for Panther 2. I'm not sure about it. I know it has some weak spots like the commander's hatch, the gun, stuff like that. But most of the time you won't be able to hit these spots. I mean, when he's AFK and he's does not move, yeah, then you will be able to penetrate the spots. But most of the time you're not in such a situation where you would have the luxury to do so. So it is very hard, and yeah, it's like I said, especially the Panther Ausführung F, it's useless against them, absolutely. It has not enough penetration power to do something serious to them. So even by using APCR ammunition, you will have a hard day against them. You will have a very hard day against them. And you shall not forget, they are armed with a 100mm cannon, and this is a weapon which will deliver a lot of destruction to you, and you're not as well protected as they are, so you will have always a very hard day against them. And also the only useful thing that I found out to do against them is to try to slow them down. Like I said, to try to destroy them, something that's very hard. I mean, yeah, I get even destroyed from this. I don't know from where this guy was shooting on me, but he applied a good hit to me and destroyed me. So T-54, it's not indestructible, no, it's not, but it's hard. It's very hard, especially when you play against player who knows the strengths and the weaknesses of this tank. Then you will have a hard day. And yeah, even the long 88 will have problems to penetrate some of the tanks, especially when you shoot on the front of the turret or on the front of the hull armor. You will recognize how well protected they are. I even did some tries with the KVK Tiger, so the last Tiger or the top tier Tiger, with the 105mm against the IS-4, and you would not believe what I will show you in the next time, where I do just a test run against the IS-4. It's scary. It really is. What I mean, it's not anymore the long 88. It's a 105mm, and the 105mm is at some moments not able to penetrate the frontal armor of the IS-4, even at point blank range. And this is something that really scares the shit out of me. So yeah, what shall I say? Top tier, avoid it. If you can, avoid it. I personally, I don't like. I tried it out to drive it, to drive the Panther 2 in simulated, but it's like I said, you won't get any support, or you do not get the support you would need to stand a chance against the Russian forces, because when you do play in simulated and you play only Germans versus Russians, you will recognize very soon how easy it is for them to outperform you. I mean, it's not a secret. I'm not sure about when they built when they built the IS-4, but I know that the T-54 Mod 51 is more or less from year 51, and the Panther 2, which we are driving, is a it's a prototype. It's a blueprint tank. It never really existed, as far as I know. I mean, I went to Wikipedia, start to read about it, and what I could get, the information I could get from it. Here also some kind of bug, whatever. I have to deal with the IS-3, which I cannot see. Yeah? So this is not funny, not at all. It is what it is, and can't do anything about it. So, but back to the team. So I could not find. Germany never built. They planned a Panther 2, but they never built it. They get as far as I know, they got a turret, but the turret was without a gun. So not like what you're seeing here, which is the Schmalturm with the model with the 88. It never existed. It never existed. And also the hull, it was. Yeah, they built the hull, they built the turret, but they never mounted together. As far as I know, the only existing Panther 2 was mounted somewhere in US. I don't know, I'm not sure about it, where it was. It's like I said, this is the information I could get from Wikipedia. So they built, or they put the tools or the tools together and built the Panther 2, but the Panther 2 was never ready. It never really left the blueprint or the prototype status. So I think that this is the problem which Gaijin did here. Yeah, it was, or it is, a tank that never really was built or get really away from the blueprint status. Yeah, it's not a bad tank, but when you do compare this tank against the T-54 and the IS-4, then you will recognize that this tank is a piece of shit. And this is the best thing I can tell about it. And I do enjoy it. I do enjoy to drive it, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough to compare it against such tanks in a one-on-one situation. It's really not a bad tank. But when you do compare it against the IS-4, IS-3 or T-54, then you will recognize that this thing is not good enough to compare against the Russian tanks. And I don't know, I would not even say that it was a bad intention, or that Gaijin got some bad intention by implementing such tanks like the KVK 105 millimeter Tiger 2 or the Yak Tiger with the 128 millimeter or a Panther 2. But also the Yak Tiger, as far as I know, the 120 mil gun or cannon never left the blueprint. So at this point I don't know where Gaijin is, what Gaijin is trying to do, where they want to get through, because on one side I heard they want to be as accurate as possible when it comes to history and tank and whatever makes that they want to make tanks as accurate as possible, historically possible. But in the same way, they do deliver some blueprint prototype tanks on the German side, and then they throw them on top tier. This is nothing that seems to work, not these days. So the only way, it's like I said, I find out to make this thing work is to play it in arcade, where I do get supported from Russian tanks like the IS-3, the T-54, the IS-4. This is the only way I could make this thing work. yeah? And I do not find out an other way to make this thing work. So yeah, but I do enjoy it, and I mean, yep, I fulfilled my task, and I grind the whole way to the KVK, to the Tiger 2 KVK 105, and in the next few days I will show you a test where I did some tests with their 105 mil against the IS4, and it really is, when it comes to how well protected IS4 is. I will show you, and then you will know what I mean. But you see, also, yeah, the Panther F, absolutely dog shit. Absolutely dog shit when it comes to fight against tanks like IS3, IS4, T-54. Absolutely useless. It is what it is. It doesn't deserve the it's not good enough. It's really not good enough to compare against such tanks. It's really not enough. It's like I said, the Panther G was it was a great experience to drive the Panther Ausführung D, Panther Ausführung A, and Panther Ausführung G. Worst experience I get from driving Panther line was Panther Ausführung F. I don't need even to complain about it. It was the worst experience I get. Also, until now, one of the best experience I could get from driving some Tiger was by driving the Tiger 2 with the Henschel turret. Great machine, especially fully upgraded like the Tiger I'm driving here. It's fantastic. It really is very, very good, and it has a good gun, fantastic penetration power, and when you do get at the point where you recognize that you get some problems with penetration some of your opponents with standard grenade, no problem. Use APCR and you will recognize that you can deal with threats like IS-3. Then it's no more, not anymore the problem that it was. But you should also not forget that you are far better protected in Tiger 2 with the Henschel turret compared to the Panther 2. So you can rely not only on the protection, especially on the frontal protection of your hull and your turret, but also on the protection at all in the tank, which you cannot do in a Panther 2. And also something that's a little bit tricky when it comes to the Panther 2 is, yep, you get a little bit, let's say, more firepower or more destruction power, because you have bigger grenades, they do have more penetration power because of the bigger gun and whatever, and so on and so on. But so you, on the one side, you do get more, let's say, like I already did, more destruction power, but you also sacrifice, on the other hand, you sacrifice the good or better reload or lower reload time that you got with the 75mm. So it's some kind of love and hate relationship that I have with the long 88 mounted on the Panther, because all Panther models that I was driving before got a smaller gun, but they got better or quicker reload time, which you will definitely miss on the long 88. Yeah, this is something. So you can do more destruction with one shot, but you cannot anymore apply as many pressure as you could with the 75mm. So it's some kind of love-hate relationship that you need to learn to deal with it. So yeah, but also we're coming to the end of this video, of this footage that I recorded for you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hopefully you liked it. I did, and I got some fun by playing the Panther 2, even when I was not really able to to play it in a way I would play all my other tanks, because it's like I said, it's not good enough, or I'm not skilled enough to play it in such a way that I would be able to be the best guy in my team. I'm not. So I need to unlock some tools, especially some repair tools, repair parts, so that when they do destroy my turret, I will be able to repair it. And hopefully in the next weeks I will progress through the research tree of the Panther 2, and then we will see what this thing is worth it when it's fully upgraded. But for today, for now, we're coming to the end. So thank you for your attention. If you like what you saw, then please show some love with the thumb up button. Also feel free to subscribe to my channel. And what I would like to know is, what do you think about the Panther 2 compared to IS-4 and T-54? So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for your attention. Until next time, here your Super Gambo.